This is He Knows the Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, y'all. I'm going to give my take on Teofimo Lopez and Richard Commey. So hear me and hear me. Well, this is going to be an epic breakdown, so y'all going to understand it from a rare and unique perspective. We're going to talk more about this on the live with He Knows Boxing live stream later on today. So again, rehear me and rehear me. Well, all right, let's get on to it. This is a fight of age and attrition. Why do I say that? Let's look at the circumstances that's involving Teofimo Lopez as well as Richard Commey. Teofimo Lopez is going through what we call a boxing crossroads. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is Teofimo Lopez is in a position where his confidence is shaky. I told you guys, man, he was a super duper hype job. Let me say it again. He was a super duper hype job because he was coming out saying Teofimo the takeover. There is no fucking takeover, man. Because in boxing, you have to understand, you have to step up after step up after step up. Let me say it again. You have to step up after step up after step up. This means that you have to give us the work that merits the title. Y'all didn't catch that. Let me rewind this because this needs to marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. Hear me and hear me. Well, you need to make sure that your actions, your resume thereof, matches the title. If you're saying Teofimo Lopez the takeover, then you need to have fights that give us credence that it is the takeover. This guy right here was pumping himself up, but in a false way. There's nothing wrong with pumping yourself up. See, a Deontay Wilder has an organic personality, right? A Gervonta Tank Davis, that's his organic personality because they're consistent and authentic as fuck. Teofimo Lopez, on the other hand, he was forcing the situation. He's not what you thought he was. And as he stepped up, we realized that those knockouts, they completely disappeared. The Edis Tatley fight was the beginning of the unraveling of Teofimo Lopez. Richard Commey alluded to this when he said, I didn't get a chance to watch this guy fight. To be honest with you, I haven't seen enough intel or detail on this kid. But what I did see is a kid that's talented. He got Edis Tatley out there in 5 rounds. But here's the problem. He was getting touched up. That was the first fight we saw him getting touched up. So I said, if he steps up the competition, then he's going to get exposed. Who was the first one to tell you guys in the Masayoshi Nakatani fight? Because I saw it was an undefeated fighter. And I looked at his resume and I looked at what he brought to the table. I knew because of his height, his length, and his ability to keep Teofimo Lopez at the end of the jab, he was going to expose him. When you got a kid whose fragile mentality tells you, oh, I told my dad, no more taller fighters, he's wondering why he's getting flack. But you got to listen to his confidence going into this fight. He said that this fight is either going to bring my stock up or it's going to bring it down. That's not solid foundation confidence. That's actually shaky confidence because what you're doing is you're preparing a 50-50 excuse. Y'all didn't catch that. That was for the real G's, the super real G's, and the ultimate real G's out here in these boxing streets. Get the notepads out and get to the damn scribbling. The boy said, this fight is either going to bring my stock up or it's going to basically eliminate me, erase me off the face of the planet. When you talk like that, that means you're already going in there with shaky confidence. You're not going in there with confidence on a solid foundation. That's the way Teofimo Lopez is talking. So basically, you've lost the battle before the war started. Richard Commey is in his Sun Tzu form because Richard Commey is telling you, I'm not paying attention to the fighter. He's doing the right thing. I'm just focusing on my training. I leave that to my team. I leave that to my trainers. They come up with the game plan. Here's the problem with Teofimo Lopez. He's sitting here saying that Richard Commey is nervous. When you knock out Shudiov and you knock out Beltran the way that Richard Commey did in his last 2 fights on a 5-fight win streak, that's not no shaking confidence. That's a fighter that's showing you that each and every fight, he's getting better and better and better. This guy ain't man, you know what I'm saying? He can fight his ass off. Just ask Raimundo Beltran. Just ask Shudiov. Ask any of the opponents that this man has faced. Richard Commey comes to bring it. And here's the thing that's different from Richard Commey versus Masayoshi Nakatani. What he lacks for in height, he has this in experience. And he's a right-hand specialist. His right-hand lead is no freaking joke. So this nonsense about, oh, Richard Commey is going to be wild. You don't win fights being wild and be on a 5-fight win streak just being a wild fighter. Wrong game plan, Teofimo Lopez. Respect your opponent. That's the cardinal rule in boxing. Respect your opponent and respect the opponent that's in front of you. You made that same mistake in the Masayoshi Nakatani fight. You made that same mistake. You got to understand, Teofimo Lopez is in a boxing crossroads. The difference and the reason why I'm picking Richard Commey to win by split decision and majority decision, because there ain't going to be no knockout in this fight. At this level, ain't no knockout. I'm going to respect the fact that Teofimo Lopez is still a talented fighter. And I'm going to respect the fact that Teofimo Lopez, if he had his head on a swivel, he can bring the fight. Richard Commey, on the other hand, he's an experienced guy that has power and he can knock you out. So when you look at what both fighters bring to the table and them fighting for this IBF championship, there ain't going to be no knockout. Because remember, when you start stepping the level up, knockouts, they go away. So this is going to be a decision fight. But the reason why I'm leaning towards Richard Commey is because of the experience factor. Because Richard Commey had his head on a swivel. Whereas Teofimo Lopez got his head chopped off. Let me say it again. Whereas Teofimo Lopez has his head chopped off. And then there's the family issue going on with Teofimo Lopez. I can see in the Prediction King Strikes Again. And the Prediction King Strikes Again. That after this fight, Teofimo Lopez doesn't have his hand raised. Don't be surprised if he gets rid of his father in his camp. Because his father has been a detriment. He has not been a benefactor. He's been a detriment in that camp. I've been saying this. When I was the only one that called this kid a super duper hype job, and I said that he's going to have to humble himself. And he's going to have to shut his damn mouth, know his role, shut his damn mouth, and fight after fight, and prove that title to Takeover. Nobody was listening. He knows the sport. And then when He Knows the Sport came out to be right, because remember, I'm the ultimate truth teller. I come in what? Cold-hearted, unadulterated, cutthroat truth-telling fashion. When the truth teller had his truth been rendered in its day, because what did I tell you guys? The truth will always have its day. Who came out looking right? I'm sorry to say this, man. Self-preservation is the law of the land. If no one takes care of you, you got to take care of yourself. So I'm going to toot my damn own horn because I was right on that. I kept the thumb and the needle on this situation because I saw this kid for what he is. I told you I'm a boxing prophet and a boxing visionary. So I see shit motherfuckers can't see. Remember, 7 steps ahead of the game. Sun Tzu, a.k.a. Art of War, dog. You got to win the battle before you win the war. This kid right here is not fit for boxing long term. His mentality is what we would say halfway shot. And at the end of this fight, because I am picking Richard Commey to win by split decision or majority decision, Teofimo Lopez is probably going to retire. Or if he does continue his boxing career, he's going to fire his dad. Because what happened was his dad overrated and overestimated his son before his time. That was the biggest mistake these two made. Calling out fighters on levels that they're not even on that level of. Richard Commey is going to expose him. That right hand is going to find its way home. Because in the Masayoshi Nakatani fight, what was the punch that was giving Teofimo Lopez problems? The right hand. And Teofimo Lopez doesn't keep his hands up. That's his cardinal mistake. Saw this shit from the Edis Tatley fight. When you have boxing deficiencies as a fighter, which is you're not keeping your hands up and you're not protecting yourself at all times, you're going to get wet. Especially the type of fighter that Teofimo Lopez is, because he's a front foot fighter that gets wet a lot. Let me say it again. He's a front foot fighter that gets wet a lot. So when they mix it up and they go toe to toe, I'm not sitting here and saying that Teofimo Lopez doesn't have an opportunity to win the fight. The kid has power. He may very well win the fight. I may very well be wrong. So freaking be it. This is what boxing prediction is all about. But I'm picking Richard Commey because his confidence is intact, his experience is there, and he's going to find a way home with that right hand via split or majority decision. This is He Knows the Sport. Check it out.